Welcome back.
Welcome.
What happened?
C286 review. Short special guest Aaron this week. So our buddy Aaron is here. But yeah, we talk about UFC all the time when we're golfing. So I figured let's get on.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, super
exciting.
Super hyped to have you on. I was gonna say you always have super good UFC MMA thoughts, so we had to bring you
good
on.
insight. Yeah. So
Setting them up for a letdown already.
Nah. We like
Not
to
really.
just shoot the shit. Like we were saying, like we started this whole thing because we just talk about it so much anyway. You know what I mean? Like this is one of the main things that we like to do. So just realized I screwed up the airplay behind us. I'll get the logo back on. But yeah, 286. I mean, shit. We can get it.
So I mean, I don't. Like I said, I kind of missed the early prelims because they started whatever. I totally fucked up the schedule, but I saw one. I saw this Jake Hadley fight. That was good. Actually, I went back and watched that because I noticed in Dana White's press conference after he ended up getting a bonus, and I was like, oh, I'll go back and watch that.
Oh,
because,
sure.
Yeah.
So it was a good fight. I mean, he dominated. It was a good win.
Yeah.
Which was the early fight where that guy got caught in that nasty leg lock and then could barely get up to celebrate his win?
That was
Makhachev.
Makhachev.
Yeah.
We should
That
definitely talk
was an
about
ugly
that.
one.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that was really good. But yeah, so we can skip to that. He was the first fight of the prelims.
Yep.
Hamid Makhachev. So yeah, local boy in the UK. But I think the last time he fought was at the O2 also, wasn't it?
I think so. The last time they were at the O2, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But yeah, this guy was. How do you say his name?
Makhachev?
Rafael? No,
I'm sorry.
Makhachev, the guy Philo, I think his guy's
Yeah,
name.
Philo. The kid
Philo.
he fought.
Yeah.
So that guy looked really good, and it was like I remember them talking about how Makhachev, they're surprised he took this fight because Philo's not even ranked or whatever.
Yep,
you know what I mean? So, but yeah, caught him in that nasty leg lock. Like
And it was
bent
for
his
a while.
leg. Yeah, it was gross.
Yeah.
Actually, because his leg. I mean, it was like bent back.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I was gonna say, I think you tweeted the picture, and it was disgusting.
Yeah. Between those and eye pokes are my two hardest things to watch
Yeah.
when you're watching the UFC. But
I hate that when they're like, "Oh, there's the eye poke," and the guy's like,
yeah, they show it
yeah,
3 or
you're
4
like,
times.
Oh, right in the eye.
But the leg lock was tough, and he didn't tap, which like kind of made it harder to watch. And it just he kept rolling over, and that guy got it in even tighter.
He definitely tore his ACL or whatever, MCL or what. I mean,
one of those tendons.
totally screwed up
because he got up to celebrate and he could barely even.
Yeah,
Right.
and then he got up on the cage though, like
he
holy
climbs
shit!
up,
Yeah,
and they were like, "Don't jump down."
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
jump down.
Yeah.
but I mean that's good comparison. Like Makhachev was in that for a long time, like you said, and like didn't tap, and then he ended up getting Philo, I think, in a choke, and pretty quickly it was more like a neck crank almost.
Yeah.
And pretty quickly that guy tapped, but whatever. I mean, I'm not comparing it.
Yeah.
Like we always talk about, like, dude, we're not being rough
I
on
know.
these guys because
No,
we are
absolutely
not
not. Yeah.
fighters, and I'm like, I am not being rough on them, but
Right.
I always feel like a total idiot when I'm like criticizing
Like, you
what they
tapped
did.
too soon.
Yeah, right. Like, wimp, you tapped too soon. Like,
Yeah.
I'd be like, as soon as the guy got, I'd be like,
I'm
done.
Stop. So one thing that we said when we were watching it at my house, we were surprised that Makhachev, he was ranked 12th, and he was the first fight on the prelims. I feel like, I don't know, it was kind of maybe an early fight for him. I don't, maybe not. I feel like usually if a guy's ranked, maybe he's going to be the main event of the prelims or like first fight on the main card. So it goes back to what you were saying about how surprising that he took the fight. Yeah, because the guy was unranked.
Yeah.
Good they threw like a hometown guy in there first to get the crowd going. Though I think sometimes they're afraid people aren't going to sit down for the prelims. You know, it's like we got to get somebody in the seats so that's not empty for the TVs. But
That's a great point, though. Yeah.
Well, and I like how they do this too. Like, so when they were, they're in the UK, and like I think we counted 12 out of the 15 fights has a UK fighters.
Oh, that's
which is
So,
cool. Yeah.
I like that.
I was gonna say we talk about it all the time, but I love when they go to different places of the world and they stack the card with people from that part of the world.
yeah.
Like it's just, I don't know, it's
You
cool.
get
You
the crowd
get to see
into it more.
Yeah, exactly, and then you get to see all those fighters fight at home and like get all the energy from the crowd and stuff. So it's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. So yeah, that was. I mean, I'm glad to see Makaev get the win. After surviving that, anyway, it was just craziness. But yeah, I mean, there's some other notables on here, like that Sam Patterson fight. Did you see that?
I did, because that guy tried to fight the ref and his coach for about 5 minutes after that, because
Scary stuff.
I thought that, and again, you don't want to criticize, like, Goddard's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I think that guy ate 3 or 4 shots that he didn't have to.
And I think, like, I've watched that. So I posted a video, like, so when I post the video, it's like I got to watch it a few times to, like, before I post it. And I think what Goddard missed was the initial knockdown, because I think everybody missed that. Like, there was, like, a missed punch, and then he hit him, like, as he was going down.
Gotcha.
Like, if you watch it again, he was stumbling backwards from, like, I think maybe the first punch grazed him, but then the second punch caught him as he was coming down, got hit, like, as he was going backwards.
Yeah.
You know,
And it's happening so fast for them, and, like, the angles they're at.
Right.
That's tough.
But, I mean, yeah, I felt bad. I mean, I felt bad for this.
Yeah, and they kept showing Patterson, and he was, like, grabbing Goddard, then the coach had to come in and tell him to, like, sit down.
Clinch with Goddard.
Exactly.
It was
just
so
like
scary.
Yeah,
instinct.
it was pretty disturbing, and I thought twice about posting the video myself, but I'm like, I really posted it just because I wanted to make a point of, like, okay, all you people complaining about early stoppages, this is why there's early stoppages sometimes. And when you see it like this, where, like, I love Mark Goddard, I think he's the best. Like, I think he's right there with the best referees. And yeah, I mean, maybe you can say, you know, he let it go on a few, you know, 2 or 3 punches.
He just might not have even
long.
seen it, though.
But it's such I mean, those guys, I mean, they're going to get criticized for every little thing that they do, whether it's early, whether it's late, whatever. It's just in the heat of the moment, those guys got to make a decision.
Yeah.
And it's hard because you don't, I mean,
seems like an impossible.
And from his angle, you don't know. Maybe he thought he was trying to fight back or whatever, or, you know, he doesn't get to watch it like 25 times over like we do. You know what I mean?
100%.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I know Rogan says it all the time, but everybody talks about how, like, the second hardest job in MMA is the referee after the fighters. You know what I mean? It's like, they're so heavily criticized, and, like, they got to make that snap decision. They might not see everything. Like you said, we're watching it back in slow motion and watching every punch land, and they got to make that decision in a split second. And it's like their main job is to protect the fighter, you know? So, like, anybody complaining about an early stoppage, this or that, is like, there's a very fine line between stopping the fight at a fair point and then letting it go 1 second longer.
I don't think any of them are, like, bad people who are like, oh, let's just see, like, some, you know? Like, I think they're all like genuinely trying as hard to protect them all.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just miss, you know, but it was a tough one to watch.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what pissed me off the most, and I'm going to call out ESPN here because, like, the ESPN MMA account, like, posted the video, and then the caption was like, he thought he was still fighting. Like, they were, like, literally mocking the guy. And it was like, that's complete bullshit. I mean, it's like, really? This is ESPN. It's not some shitty, it's not some shitty 5-city MMA review like we're doing or whatever. You know, this is like ESPN legit. You know, okay, you're mocking the guy. Like, do you have any fucking clue what you're talking about?
Yeah. Like, that guy was, like, literally grabbing Goddard like he was still in the fight. Right. You know, like, he was grabbed, like, and then the coach, like, he didn't know what was going on until.
Right. And it's like, you know, you see some of that, but I haven't seen to that extent of that went on for, like, felt like 30 seconds.
Yeah. Every time the camera would cut back, you could tell he didn't seem to be.
I mean, you see guys get knocked out and they're still, like, grabbing for a second or whatever. They think, like, you know, when the referee comes over to them and they're still, like, you know, sometimes they grab, but this guy was standing there, like, literally grabbing Goddard.
Exactly.
And, like, you know,
even on the ground, you know, and still, like, like, he was still in the fight. He was, like, fighting with him. It was.
Yeah. So I don't know. That just kind of pissed me off. It was like,
I didn't see that they were, like,
I was like, really? Who's running this account? Do you have some, you know, like, somebody who doesn't know anything about MMA that is posting this video?
Yeah.
Like, really? You're mocking the guy? It's not something to mock.
Or, like, they're just trying to get clicks
probably
or
is
whatever,
going to have long-term brain damage, and you're mocking him?
Yeah, plus, like, everyone he knows who's watching it. Right. You know, everyone, like, his family's rolling through, and they're going to see all that stuff, too. So.
Imagine like you said, anybody at home from his family or friends watching that is like, probably horrified at that moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's why
and
I
then they
thought.
have to see that on the day after. So.
Yeah, that's just not.
I don't
Definitely
know.
not right.
That's why I was like, I'm gonna post it, but I didn't really want it to be like, oh, here's a funny thing that happened. Like it's not funny. It's like, here's why fights are stopped early, kind of thing, you know. But whatever. I still am thinking twice about even if I should have posted, but whatever. It is what it is. I'm not ESPN, so
right. But like you said too, you were kind of posting it in the light that like this is why we stop things early sometimes or whatever. It's better to be on the other side of the line.
And a lot of people don't realize it's like, oh, they stopped the fight early. Well, yeah, you eat 2 or 3 extra punches. That's like you
could be your career,
that you don't have to. I mean, this is kind of what happens, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Whatever. It is what it is. So any other prelims? Duncan, Morales, anything you guys want to talk about there?
I remember that being a pretty good fight, but
Yeah.
didn't Duncan win by that last second takedown there, right? He kind of got him better on the ground.
Yeah. I really don't remember that one. I don't know if I saw
And then
that
there was
or
the
not.
Jake Shore fight, right?
Jack Shore.
Yeah,
I went back and I missed that one, and I went back and rewatched that too because I love Jack Shore.
Yeah.
And I thought he looked really good.
And he went up, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So he's a
going
little
up
bigger
in weight?
now.
Okay,
Yeah.
because he was cutting
good.
to 135, they said, and
Gotcha.
and yeah, he didn't. He fought at 145 and he looked really good.
Yeah.
Like he looked really sharp on the feet, and you know, I just thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
Really good. Yeah, so good win for him.
Yeah. That was the main event of the prelims, or
That was main
feature prelim, whatever they call it.
prelim, whatever. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's it for prelims, but so yeah, let's move on to main card. Marvin Vettori and Roman Dolidze.
Yeah, great fight. Went to a decision, right? Yeah.
Super close. Like
super
evenly
close
matched
fight.
guys. Like big dudes throwing hammers.
Dude, yeah.
I know Dolidze was he was really good. Like, you know, Dolidze had the long range. I thought like his reach was definitely longer than Vettori, and he was catching them. You know, I mean he was just throwing. I thought he was gonna get tired. Like after the first round, I thought like, oh, this guy's gonna get tired. You know, but he really didn't get that tired. I mean, they were throwing.
They went all the way to the bell, really.
Yeah.
I just think I think what won Vettori the fight was just how many leg kicks he landed, like every single round. You know,
Yeah.
he just wouldn't give up on it. And like I don't want to say they're cheap points because it's smart and that's how you win close fights. But he committed to him. He got him even in early though when he was just kind of tapping him. But it still
Those
counts
count.
to be active. You know,
Exactly, and those probably do more damage than we think they do. Those
because at
little
the
leg
end of the
kicks.
fight, his legs started to look real busted up.
Yeah, so I think I don't know if it was everybody who I was watching the fight with, but we all had a parlay on like the main card, and we all had Vettori to win. And it was like you said, it was such a close fight. We were like, come on, we can't get this.
I had
this
Vettori.
can't end
I
on the
had
first
Vettori
fight.
too to win some parlay. Oh, I had a parlay, but then I ended up I lost on Casey O'Neill. That's another story, but
We can get into that.
anyways, but yeah, I thought Vettori was Dolidze's like his upper thigh was all bruised, right?
At the end of that
Yeah.
round, at the end of the 3, it started to get really bad, and that's why like those early ones in the beginning, even though some of them were just kind of slapping them a little bit, like they all added up.
Yeah.
The fight was close, but I was giving a lot of I thought the judges would give them to Vettori because of that anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was confident for Vettori going into the decision, but I was like, we were all like, come on,
Yeah.
this can't.
Oh,
our
you never
parlay
know.
can't
You
die
never
on the
know.
first
Can't
fight.
die in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
first fight. You lose the first fight, and you're like, oh my god, this totally sucks.
Gotta go back to the drawing board.
This
Exactly.
totally
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a good win for him. I thought, it's tough. That division's tough because, you've got Izzy and Pereira fighting April 9th. And then, you got Whitaker and Cannonier hanging around. So, I mean, I don't know what they do next with Vettori. I mean, maybe they give him Cannonier or Whitaker. I think he fought Whitaker, though, right? Before?
He did.
Pretty sure he did, yeah.
Were they supposed to? No, they did fight.
can
Didn't
look at
Whitaker
it
look
real
really
quick.
good in that fight?
Yeah. I thought.
Oh, yeah, he just fought. That's right. His fight before he lost to Whitaker. That's right.
And I think
And he
that's
got dominated.
And it's
yeah.
like, where does he go now?
Right.
It's like, will he just fall right into that middle, like 4, 5, 6, or?
Yeah. So that's the thing I was wondering, like, because I knew that I remember the Costa fight was awesome.
Yeah.
so he beat
They
Costa.
hate each other, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not easy to hate. It's not that hard to hate Costa. he's like Twitter gold. You follow
he's
his
the
Twitter?
greatest.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
It's like,
the secret juice.
Secret
I
juice,
mean,
man.
he's so.
You never
funny.
know what he's going to come out with next. You
Yeah.
have to be honest.
Yeah, he is funny. But yeah, I remember. So he got dominated by Whitaker. But yeah, I mean, maybe they give him Cannonier. I don't know. I don't think I don't know. Cannonier to me, he should be a better fighter than he is. That's the way I feel about it. It's like I just don't think the guy. He doesn't put out the volume. Like for me, it's like that guy should be destroying people.
He seems like he has everything to do it. But,
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just.
But
me.
now he just kind of falls right into that
Right.
middle. They take a step back, then 2 forward, but then another one back.
Right.
They never.
I mean, even when he fought Strickland, it's like I don't know. I thought Strickland probably won that fight. I don't know.
Yeah. I almost forgot that.
Yeah.
And then like when he fought Izzy, it's like,
That was the one Izzy walked out like the Undertaker, right?
Yeah.
When he fought Cannonier.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's like Izzy was up 3 rounds, and Cannonier wasn't doing it. It's like, why? I don't know. I know I'm being too harsh of a critic, but it's like, to me, why aren't you just going balls out and trying to knock him out then? If you know you're down 3 rounds, like if it was me and I'm a fighter, I'm going to go. I'm either going to get knocked out or I'm going to knock you out. At that point, if I know I'm down, like you're a fighter.
And it's for the belt.
Right.
Like, he took him that long to get there. You don't know how long it's going to take.
That's the thing, and he just kind of like fizzled out in those last 2 rounds, and I was really disappointed. I just have been disappointed in him.
Yeah, almost
since
like
that,
when you're watching his fights, you're like just wanting a little more output or a little more, aggressiveness or push him more or whatever.
I mean,
dominate the octagon.
whatever. He's a good fighter. I'm not whatever. I hate being critical of anybody.
Has Vettori fought Cannonier?
I was gonna say I
don't think so.
I don't think so. That would be a good fight.
Yeah,
too,
so that probably makes sense next because Vettori fought Whitaker, Vettori fought Izzy, right?
And Vettori's ranked 4 though, right?
Yeah.
And then what?
Cannonier's 3.
Won.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, just throwing it out there, I'd like to see Duplessis fight him.
Yeah.
Well,
Duplessis up to 6 now.
Yeah.
He looked so much bigger than Till when they fought. It was
much bigger.
And I love Till's one of my favorite fighters, but when they were walking in and then when they came close in the cage, I was like, wow, he just looks like a thicker.
And then he just knocked out Brunson too.
I know.
I mean,
I don't know why I don't really like Duplessis.
Yeah.
I have no idea why.
I'm kind of the same.
Till and he,
I was kind of the same way. Like before he fought Till, I was like, this guy's not that good. Like I didn't think he was that good, and then he like dominated Till, and then he knocks out Brunson. I'm like, you got to give this guy somebody. You got to give him. You got to give him. Like maybe they give him
Even
Costa.
If I don't like him, you gotta. He's earned a.
No, give him Costa and see what he does.
If I'm not mistaken, he's the guy who he said after the one fight they were like, wow, you looked really tired after the first round. He's like, I wasn't tired. That's just how I fight.
Just
or
kept
whatever.
going.
Yeah, he just looks tired. Yeah,
he's like, no, I just look tired, but
after
I wasn't.
After 30 seconds, he looks like he's about to.
It was
pass
funny
out.
because I think he said like something like Rogan said he told him that before the fight started.
Oh, really?
Like, don't think I'm tired. That's just the way I fight. Like, don't tell people I'm tired.
This is how I look.
Yeah, this is just how I look or whatever.
Oh, that's too funny. Yeah.
That's super funny. Yeah.
But yeah, good matchups for Vettori coming up next, obviously.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Like maybe it's Vettori and Cannonier and Costa and Duplessis,
Yeah.
And then you still got Strickland in there too, but
for sure.
Whatever. We'll see. A lot's gonna a lot will determine what happens in that division with the championship fight coming up too. So
yeah, exactly.
I mean, we'll see.
Sort it out at the top first and then work your way down.
We'll see what happens there. But yeah, we can move on to Jennifer Maia and Casey O'Neill, which that kind of screwed up my parlay right there.
This is where I lost it all.
So you guys had O'Neill?
I had O'Neill, yeah. But in all, whatever, that being said, I thought Maia looked amazing. Like her boxing was awesome. Really awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. She looked fantastic. A lot better than I've seen her look in previous fights. I was really high on Casey O'Neill. She was 9-0. I don't know who she was scheduled to fight, or she was like working her way towards the title fight, and then she got hurt. She had that injury.
Yeah, and this was her first fight back, right?
Yep.
Which,
yeah.
That's so hard because she looked really good too, but tear your ACL, and then Maia's a beast. So
I thought she got pieced up by Maia in the first 2 rounds, but the third round she looked like O'Neal looked really good in the third round. I mean, you could tell she's gonna be a force.
Oh,
you know, I mean, it's like that third round, she was coming at her hard, and it was like she wasn't backing down. That's what I love to see. It's like these, they go out there and fight. It's like it's amazing to see the heart, and that's what I was like down on Cannonier for a little bit, because I'm like, it's just such a difference to me where she knew she was down, she knew she needed the knockout, and she tried to do it. You know, she just came out and all guns blazing.
So and like I think she lost a fight, but I feel like she'll be fine.
Yeah,
right, exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? She impressed a lot.
Right, that's the kind of fight
back. Like she'll be just fine.
Right,
like, it won't.
Right,
it sucks to lose, and it probably sucks for her. But like, she'll be fine. It's not going to knock her down that much. There's I think a lot of options for both of them now. So
that's the one thing I like when I used to watch UFC, like even just like a couple of years ago. I always feel so bad for the person when they lost, because like it's so emotional. They just put in this 6 to 8 week training camp, but then you kind of realize, like, listen, everybody loses. You know what I mean? Like we see Usman lose, we saw Izzy lose, we saw Shevchenko lose, we saw all these people lose. Nunes is like, oh my god, the boogeyman of UFC. She lost, so it's like everybody loses, and it's like your career's not over. You know what I mean, or whatever. I used to think like I would always have the perspective. I'm like, man, they lost, like they're fucked now.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Especially if she put on it was a good performance too. You know, it was close. So
exactly. And that, like, I'm just looking at that division now, and it's like there's so many good fighters now in that women's flyweight division.
So that's what I mean. Like there's a lot of options for both of them. Like, it sucks for Casey to lose, but I think she'll.
I mean,
just fine.
So Grasso's the champion. Shevchenko, just beat Shevchenko, but I mean, even after that, it's like you got Ferrio, you got Santos, who still should have been fighting.
She should have. I think she beat Shevchenko when they fought, but they gave the close decision to Shevchenko.
But then you got like Erin Blanchfield. I mean, looks amazing.
And young.
Oh my god,
super young. Yeah.
Be around
really
for a long
amazing.
time.
Yeah. And Jessica Andrade is in that division and whatever. She took that fight on short notice, and did you watch that? And Andrade and Blanchfield, that was
I loved Blanchfield in that fight.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people are too low on Blanchfield.
Yeah.
And Andrade took it on short notice. So I betting on it, I was like because I think she entered the fight as a slight underdog.
Yeah.
Which was a steal.
Yeah.
That is a steal.
And I thought that was huge. Huge. And she's unbelievable.
You said you bet that fight?
Yes. That was a few weeks ago. Yeah.
I love that, though, when you're like scrolling through and you're like, wait, what? You're
Exactly.
Like, oh, come on.
Like,
No.
Yeah. 8 times out of 10, I'm wrong, but this was like the one of the time that I had it right.
Yeah. And that fight, too, was like, I mean, she was just throwing back and forth with Andrade, and she was not afraid. Like, that's the thing. She stood in there, was not afraid of the power, and came right at her.
Yep.
And I think that totally took her by surprise.
Definitely.
Yeah, because Andrade is kind of a bully. Like, she's so super good too. So and Blanchfield is right there with her.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. You got so many good names in that division. It's just Lauren Murphy, Chukagian, Jennifer Maya.
Yeah.
Chukagian's from close to here, isn't she?
She's from New York, I know. Yeah.
I think she is.
She's in maybe the city though. I thought that she was like
I
don't know.
Yeah.
But I thought that she's like kind of close.
Yeah.
Yeah, that division's super stacked.
I was gonna say, now that some of these champions have fallen, it's like we can kind of have a little shake up now. Finally,
I know.
It's not like Shevchenko and Nunes and then everybody else. I feel like it's a lot of new contenders in those different weight classes. So it's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think that they'll just give Shevchenko Grasso again?
Do I think they will? Yeah.
Probably, right?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if we'll get any chance of just a Grasso over somebody else, but
I would love
think
to
it's
see.
Just back to Shevchenko.
I mean, they kind of.
I think they have to.
They have, right? She was such
Even
a long-standing
if she
champion.
asks for it, are they going to say no?
Yeah, I was going to say, right, yeah. I feel like if she asks for it, they'll give it to her. And that's kind of the thing. Like, if a long-standing champion loses, they got to fight again.
I think
right
it's
away.
an immediate rematch,
Yeah.
And I think that's what Shevchenko said after the fight or whatever. But
I'll go back. I still think Shevchenko lost to Talia Santos.
Yeah.
Whatever, a year ago now, or maybe 9 months ago. I think she lost that fight. So I would love to see Santos versus Grasso. I think that would be a great fight.
Yeah. And I'd like to see the Blanchfield get up there, and I mean, I think she's going to be champion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like that's
probably just a matter of time.
That's what I think. I think she's definitely on a championship route.
Yeah. Cool.
For sure. So, all right, good one. That. Let's see.
Gunnar.
Yeah, Gunnar Nelson, Brian Barberena. No contest there, really.
No quick work of him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what happened to Barberena last time too, right?
I was gonna say, like, I thought that I could be wrong, but didn't he have like an upset win, and now he's coming off of 2 losses?
Yeah,
like he shocked someone.
He beat Robbie Lawler. Yeah,
he beat.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Then he's just gotten kind of mauled the next 2.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't remember that Robbie Lawler fight, you definitely gotta watch that again. Like,
I thought it was a war.
Oh, it was awesome.
That's what I mean. Like that's where he.
Yeah, it was like good old fashioned Robbie
Barberena.
Lawler fight.
That's
yeah. Like he was. I mean, it was back and forth, and then Barberena just ended up overwhelming him in the second round. You know, but it was a good fight. It was.
Yeah. And then we kind of put
really
Barberena
good.
on the map, and then now he's kind of 2 letdowns.
Yeah, he got submitted by Dos Anjos, and now by Gunnar Nelson. So it's like, it's one of those things too where I feel like these guys that are just boxers or they're just strikers, like Barberena, I think is. They just don't have a shot against these guys who are really good wrestlers.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
I mean, they just don't. Yeah, and it's just those are just tough matchups.
Yeah.
And Gunnar had that goofy style.
Right.
I don't think Barberena had any idea what to do with it.
I love his stance, like the old school.
Yeah,
exactly.
like hands
Notre Dame
down,
fighting
he's like this,
straight up in the air.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's overwhelmed him though.
Yeah, no, it was cool. It's funny. I was watching last night. We were watching some video on Conor McGregor, and when Gunnar came out, I was like, "Holy shit, he kind of stands like Conor." And then they were saying in this video last night that Conor like emulates Gunnar Nelson, or like that was like one of his guys
Way back
like,
when.
Yeah.
So I always sidetrack. Conor used to fight like that a lot early, and then did that whole Floyd camp, and then came back and was just very stand up, like southpaw boxer, and and then. But I think there was maybe was it the Dustin fight? He came out with 2 kicks.
Oh,
quick,
right.
and it was
yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
and it didn't really fare too well because he busted his leg, but
Right. Yeah. I think he was
he
trying
was
to like
sort of like a
he did,
little
like-
bit back into that.
Right. Yeah. He had that like super wide stance early in his career, and then once like leg kicks, I feel like became more of the meta. You know what I mean? If you're like throwing all those leg kicks, like when you have that wide stance, I feel like you can get those legs chopped down pretty easily when you're like, I don't
Right.
know.
Yeah.
Gunnar smashed him though.
Yeah. I know. That was super impressive by Gunnar. I had Barberena just to kind of boost my odds in my parlay, but obviously that was blown up by Casey O'Neill.
Yeah.
But
and it's like I watched an interview with Gunnar after, and he was, and he's right. He kind of took his time. It was, almost the end of the first round where he submitted him, and I thought he could have even done it sooner, but it was like he was like plodding along on his back, took his time, just took his time to, and that's what he was saying. It's like I wanted to make sure I, did what I need to do and didn't have any, but took care of him. I mean, it was.
And I just don't know what's next, especially for Barberino. Like, what do you make of it now?
Dude, I know.
But Gunnar too, like he's got to be up there.
I was gonna say, so wasn't this coming off a pretty big layoff for him? Or
He was off like a year at least.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see.
I don't know why, maybe an injury or something, but I don't know what his last fight was, but I remember them saying that he was coming off a pretty big, whatever.
Yeah,
he fought Sato March of 2022. That was his last fight.
Yeah, so big layoff.
And then before that, he hadn't fought since 2019. He lost to Gilbert Burns, and he lost to Leon Edwards and Gilbert Burns in 2019. Took 2 years off, fought Sato in 2022.
Yeah,
and then obviously fought Barberena. He was supposed to fight Daniel Rodriguez actually in this fight. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I don't see him in the rankings, in the top 15. But I mean,
he's got to be working.
Maybe you give him. I mean, maybe you give him somebody. That's for sure.
That's what I mean. He's got to kind of climb up there now. But.
Yeah.
I mean, there's guys that are in that bottom tier of the 15. That Jack Della Maddalena. I mean, that might be a good matchup.
Yeah.
Michael Chiesa's fighting soon, right? Isn't Chiesa?
I don't know. I like watching him, the Maverick. I like watching him commentate. I think he's good. I didn't know when his next fight was, but he finds a way to stay active, and I knew that it was coming. But
it is coming.
I like watching him fight too.
Yeah, I love when the guys like him, or like I don't know if Anthony Smith has really has many fights scheduled or anything like that. But I love when those guys get in the ring because it's like
Yeah.
we watch them every post fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Every
It is cool,
post-event.
yeah.
It's cool when they get in the ring. Yeah.
So yeah, he's fighting on the Izzy card. He's fighting Li Jing. He's fighing Li Jing Lang.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's gonna be good.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's gonna be a good fight. I love Li
I
Jing
feel
Lang.
like Chiasa's kind of got to win though.
Yeah.
Like, there's like low key kind of a lot of pressure on Michael. But.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he lost to Sean Brady before that, or is that? Was that his last
2
fight?
years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, that's kind of a must win. Yeah.
Because I don't think when he's already got the ESPN thing, he's probably not fighting just to fight. Like he's trying to make one last go of it. Like this is going to be a big push for him.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. I mean,
some sweet tattoos.
he does. I didn't realize that. I know he's got some like
Yeah.
tiger on his midsection
cool.
there. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, Barberena.
But yeah, who knows? I mean, I'd like to see Gunnar Nelson fight soon again because he didn't take any damage, and maybe he comes back. I'd like to see him come back in 3 months.
Especially because I think he took it on short notice, right?
Right.
So
yeah,
that's always hard to.
yeah,
Right. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
yeah. So I don't know. We'll see what happens there, but yeah. So
Move on to the co-main if you want.
moving on, co-main. I tell you, I really haven't been this. I don't know. I just think every time Justin Gaethje fights, I just get nervous. Like I don't know why. Like because I know what we're gonna see.
Chaos.
Like I know what we're gonna see. Like it's gonna be a fucking chaotic thing. It's like some of his fights. You're like, you just have never seen this before. Like you've never seen somebody stand in the pocket.
I was gonna say he
just
stands
trade.
right there.
Like yeah, he's just not backing down. And that's
Another fight of the night.
Dude.
Like surprise. Every time and stands right in the fire.
And that's like he said, he's the most exciting fighter in the history of the UFC, and it's hard to debate that.
Yeah,
it really is.
Well,
there's exciting guys, but I mean, you can't say that he's not
the
top
same
5.
Consistent, unbelievable performance every single time he fights.
Right.
Yeah.
Every single time.
I was gonna say, you know what you're getting with him. No
Every
matter who he's fighting, whatever, he's gonna make them play his game. You know what I mean? Of just
it's never boring. And even in even when he fought Oliveira, it's like go back and watch that. It was it lasted over in the first round, but holy shit, go back and watch that. I mean, it was it's just so whatever. I mean, this fight was amazing. Is it Fiziev or Fiziev or?
I think it's Fiziev,
right?
We were having a debate,
I was throwing that around too.
But I heard like the UFC guys say Fiziev, a couple of. I don't know. So I think that whatever.
Rafael.
However you want to say it, we're gonna roll it. So,
Rafael.
Yeah. Like he looks unbelievable too. Like he looked weird. Like oddly enough, almost better.
Right.
But just like.
Yeah,
he looked a lot quicker,
just different,
faster,
so fast. But like,
so one
just
thing,
the way he throws is crisp, sharp,
right?
And Gaethje he just eats everything.
And Gaethje like doesn't take damage. Like even if he's taking the punches, it's like I don't know if it was after I think it was after the second round where like Fiziev might have even had him in significant strikes, but like Fiziev was wearing it like crazy.
I had like he
looked
wore
like
the
us.
hell out of it. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
and a lot of the shots Gaethje took were body kicks, and it was like he really and he claimed after the fight that they didn't really do much damage for him, but I mean, come on, he said what was most sore was his elbows because he was like trying to blocking him, and he said his elbows were killing him. So a lot of the kicks might have hit his elbows, but I mean there was enough significant kicks.
There were shots where Gaethje was knocking the snot out of him.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Oh, that one.
Did you see the one where it was
replay?
Like, they kept showing it. Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's like Gaethje kind of weathered the storm almost, even in the first 2 rounds, or even in the third round. Like Fiziev rocked Gaethje. Like you go back to the third round, watch it again. Beginning of the round, he caught him with like some combination. It was like a kick to the body and like a short punch or something, and you could see Gaethje's legs like buckle a little bit.
Yeah.
I thought at that point for a half a second, I was like, is he out on his feet? I was like, because he kind of like.
I thought he was in trouble.
For him
I thought he was in trouble.
Drop. Yeah, but no, he didn't. Yeah.
Rafael is so fast.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, it's definitely.
I thought when the fight started, I thought, man, he's Fiziev is so quick. I thought he's gonna have trouble. It's giving Gaethje trouble, and it did. It gave him trouble for sure. I mean, you can't doubt that. But it's like that goes back to it goes back to like Gaethje's fight IQ too. It's like he just figured out a way to win.
Yeah.
Like so you flat, you know, you go forward to the third round where after he got rocked, it's like then he started laying those jabs. And I watched the fight again. Like after the card was over, I went back and watched it again.
Oh yeah.
And I counted at least 13, probably 15 jabs he landed in the last 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like clean, right at him, straight jabs, and Fiziev's eye was fucked. It was like,
and Gaethje hit him with a few leg kicks that are like crippling to him too. But like you said, he was wearing this damage so much worse than Gaethje was.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what Gaethje said.
And the jabs at the end were unbelievable. He like figured out like this is my sweet spot right now. Bang, bang, bang.
Right. I mean, he was just peppering him with those, and then mixing in the hook or whatever, and mixing in the right hand.
Yeah.
But going back to fight IQ too, it's like I was listening to Gaethje after in his post-fight press conference, and it's like he figured out, like he said it right out. He's like, Fiziev was too quick. Like he was too quick for my regular kicks. It's like I was getting him, but I wasn't getting him. It's like he had to adjust his kicks to be more like kind of roundhouse or snappy at the end or something, where he could catch his back leg or something. Right. And he had to make, he's like, during the fight, it's like that's where he mixed it up. He was like mixing up his leg kicks so they would land. Yeah. Because he was like,
because he had thrown some looping shots, and even his coach, Trevor Whitman, was like, "Dude, you got to be inside those shoulders."
Right, exactly.
Like you can't be tighten it up. And
exactly.
I think he said something about his feet, like they're rhythmic, they're moving a lot, but you just
and
all that is so interesting to see. And Gaethje
kind
of soaks it in, and
that's what I find so interesting. It's like they saw how Fiziev was moving, and where his feet were moving and the pattern he was moving at. Yep. And really took advantage of that. It was just, it's crazy to see.
Like what you were saying, the jab at the end though is what just kept catching him. Yeah. And I don't remember Gaethje ever just being like a jab specialist.
Right.
Like he just it's something that he figured out.
Definitely. But the dude's a high-class boxer, and he's figured it out.
And he got his takedown.
Right, exactly. That's what he said in his press conference, too. He was like, all those people that are bitching about me not having a takedown can fuck off.
Yeah, and he was pouring it on in the third. And then and that was what made me stand up was like he realized, like, I figured him out.
That was like exclamation point right there.
And then I was like, now I'm going to get him the takedown just to like slam it on again.
I was going to say, I think I stood up at that point.
Yeah.
I was like, well, let's go.
Like, good for Gaethje.
I'm just so excited when he fights. I don't know. I just get like.
He just deserves like everyone because he's given everything. So it's so easy to root for him.
He did say too when he was talking in the post fight that like he's gonna make one more. This is his last run or whatever. He said I don't know what he said exactly.
Because I'm not gonna be around for much longer, but I got one more. I think like title push.
I mean, he's been around a long time though. He's 34. Yeah. So
that's gonna. I tell you, that's gonna suck when he retires. Yeah. I don't know. Like you said, it's just like 3 times a year when he fights. It's like let's go. We know
also,
we're getting
though,
right now. Yeah.
That was Fiziev's pay-per-view debut. They said,
shit.
That dude's gonna be a pay-per-view guy every time.
Every time.
So and that's the thing. Like he lost, but like a war with Gaethje.
Right, and that's the thing. Like you said, it's like some of these guys lose or girls lose, and they're like, it's not a bad mark on their record. You lose to Gaethje in a fight like that, doesn't fine. Hurt him at all.
Stock rise.
It probably helps
so
him.
Good, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. He's so fast. Like people are probably again scared of him. It's like
exactly.
For sure. And he's we'll see how things play out in that division, and we'll see how things play out for Gaethje. But I mean,
so that was the thing. Like I don't know, like where that division is so hard. Gaethje gets the win. He wants a title push.
So, yeah.
Poirier maybe?
Well,
again?
so he's
like, they're both sitting out.
Right.
So he talked about that in the post fight press conference too, and he doesn't want to fight Dariush. Like he said it because he's good friends with him. He says I'm not.
Oh, okay.
He said I don't want to. He says I don't. He's would not want to fight Dariush. Is what he said.
Who's Benny fighting next though?
Oliveira,
right, Charles?
So it's like that's going to be great, but if Dariush ends up beating Oliveira, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll end up fighting him, but I don't think so. And he alluded to the fact that, probably Poirier.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be.
They've never fought, right?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Poirier beat him.
Poirier did beat him. Yeah. On his crawl,
Long
on
time
his
ago, yeah.
title fight. Or on Poirier's title run?
I think so. But yeah, Poirier beat him.
Huh.
Yep. I'll look back now, but I'll tell you guys for sure.
Shoot. I don't have like a picture in my head of that happening, but it doesn't, like, I don't.
It was a while ago.
Right.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So it was April 14th, 2018.
Oh, wow.
Fourth round TKO.
Ago. Wow. 5 years ago.
Poirier knocked out Gaethje.
Yeah.
Look at how soon we forget, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
Poirier, the body snatcher, though. Connor, Gaethje.
But then you look at
right.
But then you look at that, and of all the fights that he's had, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fights he's had since Poirier, and the 2 guys he lost to are Khabib and Oliveira. That's it.
Yeah.
It's like
unbelievable.
Right.
I mean, those are losses that, like you said, don't really hurt you.
Your stock rises. Yeah.
And then Gaethje and the Gaethje Chandler fight still just stands out, like
top fight of all time. Maybe.
Yeah,
Dude,
so good.
For me, it's number one. I'll go back and watch it probably every month or 2.
Wow.
Because I can't get enough of it.
So I like that, but also the Volk Ortega fight
Oh yeah,
was
so
good,
Yeah.
for me.
yeah, it was really good. Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. But I mean, I don't know. But I'll tell you, I was nervous for this fight. But when that Gaethje Chandler fight was happening, I couldn't sit down. Like, it was one of those things where and it was the first fight on the card. Remember that? It was the first fight.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I think
it was.
They changed it.
They changed it because Trevor Whitman had 3 fighters fighting. Rose was
He had
fighting.
Kamaru, right?
Yeah.
And Rose was fighting too.
I think that was when Rose lost.
Yeah, but whatever it was,
like that.
they didn't want to have 3 fights of his in a row, so they moved Gaethje and Chandler to the first fight. It was like I couldn't sit
how
down.
You get people in the
Oh
seats,
my god!
right?
I was just like,
That's how
I
you
couldn't.
pack it
I knew, I just knew what was going to happen in that fight. And you're just like,
well, Chandler, I thought was gonna just get sat down 3 times. He just kept walking forward.
oh my
you
god!
know?
I mean that fight was just amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, when Chandler had Gaethje up against the fence and he was just pouring it on, and he just stood there and took it and fired right back.
I think they were saying, give me more.
It was just like, oh
They
my
wanted
god!
another round,
I've just never seen an exchange like that.
Yeah.
It was just crazy.
Oh,
So
for sure.
yeah, that fight's nuts. But we can talk about that fight forever. But
Yeah, right.
But I mean, yeah, this fight was amazing. I thought, like I said, I think Fiziev's going to have a bright future for sure, and Gaethje's, yeah. I mean, I'd love to see Poirier next, and I'd love to see him fight for the title again.
Yeah, that's an interesting path, though. Is it Poirier then the belt? Poirier someone else the belt? Like, what's his climb going to be?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It'll be interesting for sure.
Yeah, we just don't know. But I mean, you'd like to see him be champion one day, but realistically, I just don't think he matches up well against the wrestlers. That's the thing. It's like these jiu-jitsu guys who, like Oliveira, I mean, got him down and submitted him right away. Yeah. Same thing with Khabib.
True.
Khabib just took him down. It was over right away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then, and he's a really good wrestler.
Right.
He's
He was an All-American.
an All-American wrestler.
Yeah.
It's just almost.
Well, if you go back, I mean, I know I keep talking about the Chandler fight, but he shows his wrestling ability. Chandler took him down, and remember when Chandler took him down, and then he flipped over? He did like that somersault.
Oh,
and
I do remember
ended up
that.
on top or whatever.
Yeah,
It's like he can do it.
Like that move was crazy. Yeah.
Gosh,
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
sort of remember that, but
Go back and watch that. You'll be like, holy shit. I mean, it was one of the best moves I've ever seen. Like, Chandler had him up, like basically like, I don't know, it was like a body slam kind of, but as soon as he started going down, it's like Chandler ducked his head underneath and rolled, so he ended up on top.
Gaethje.
Or Gaethje did.
Gaethje,
sorry. Yeah.
That's
Yeah, it was just, I mean, whatever. Just the skill is incredible.
I'd like to see him just wrestle. I bet you he would ragdoll someone.
Yeah.
I mean, not even in the UFC, but just like
a wrestler.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
if
right.
someone caught footage of him practicing, he's probably throwing people around.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there was some footage I watched like before this card of him and Usman wrestling. Oh. Yeah, because they're in the same camp or whatever, and it was pretty interesting to see them rolling around. It was
on that top. Did you ever see when Izzy and Dan Hooker spar? And they go to. It's weird because Hooker is so much smaller.
Yeah,
but they seem to be like throwing like scary, and it makes me like Hooker more because now he's dropped weight.
Yeah.
And like, but he is a scary dude.
Oh, Hooker's awesome.
You know what I mean? And like, but there's like some short clips of him like just standing with Izzy.
Dude, yeah.
And you hear him going at it. And I mean, they're close friends and stuff, so I'm sure they're obviously taking some off of it.
Yeah.
But it's surprising to see how Hooker is just in there.
Right.
Because
because
he's so tall. Mm-hmm. So standing next to Izzy, you don't really notice the size difference. But when you think about it, Izzy's probably walking 200 something.
Yeah.
And now Hooker's fighting at, I think, 45.
Jesus.
But it's fun. It's funny to see just them whizzing hands at each other.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, anything else on that?
I was gonna say it was a great fight. Happy for Gaethje. I didn't expect him to say that he was making one more run and that was gonna be it. Maybe I just wasn't thinking about that at all. But kind of shocking to me, at least. I mean, he's 34. He's taking a lot of punches. I get it.
It's just I don't know. It's like shocking to hear like a guy that we all like to be. It's like, oh my God, it's like he's gonna retire someday.
I know.
Yeah. We all don't want to see
it. But now,
like,
we'll all be behind him. Exactly. Even more. So.
Yeah. Knowing it's his last run, but we can move on to the main event if you want, because all
right,
she was a good one. She was a good one. One thing I will say, I'll start it off with this. Since Edwards got the belt, or I'd say before that, he always looked like unsure of himself. Like always, kind of just had that look on his face where he was like, I don't know, just gave me that vibe. But in this fight, total opposite story. He looked very, very confident. Even going into it, in my opinion, he looked kind of like a different fighter. You know what I mean? Like he has the belt, he kind of changed a little bit. Yeah.
I think being at home helped so much too.
Yeah.
That crowd, everywhere they went, the press conferences, being home, the home arena. But
being in
I
the
agree.
O2. Yeah.
Super confident.
Yeah.
He's always like very unassuming, like very like head
like,
down, but like he did look very
Yeah. I mean, super happy for him that he went out there and won a decision that was clearly his, in my opinion. You know what I mean? I think he really, outscored Kamaru. I think Kamaru looked like a different fighter too. It threw me off seeing him in the green shorts instead of the championship black and gold. It threw me off so much seeing him in those green shorts. Yeah.
Also, weird comment. I thought Kamaru had an awful walkout song. Which I always I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
It was just weird noise. And I always look forward to the walkout. And I'm just like, what is this? Like I get so fired up for the walkouts.
Yeah.
And it's not that Leon's was great. Like he didn't do anything. Like a song I've never heard of before or anything. But it was just like I didn't know what was happening with like there wasn't any like I expected like this like overwhelming like fierceness from Kamaru to come out like this is my belt. I'm gonna smash you here.
That's what I thought was gonna happen in the fight.
From the walkout on, I was like, oh.
This isn't that great.
His brother is scary though.
Oh, his brother is
huge, unbelievably scary. One of the scariest guys I've ever seen.
He was behind him with the glasses.
Yeah, those weird glasses he had on too. It's like holy shit.
I was so obsessed with the walkout, so I noticed his brother and the awful song. I was like, come on.
But yeah, we all thought he was going to come out there and be like, listen, I made one mistake in my career, and now I don't have the belt. Now I'm going to fucking take it back.
I thought he was going to run.
Yeah.
Well, and that's like I was telling you guys before. It's like that's the reason I took him on my bets to knock Edwards out. Mm-hmm. I thought he's going to come out and put the pressure on him and be relentless, and he just wasn't. He fought scared.
Yeah,
that's just my take on it. I think he was scared of the getting knocked out again. I think he was scared of the kicks, and he was very tentative, I thought.
Yeah. I mean,
he caught him with a few good combinations, but then he didn't follow up. Like he caught him, I think it was in the second or third round, a couple really good combinations, but then he just backed off. It wasn't like I thought he would catch him with a couple good shots and be like relentlessly after him. Like, I'm going to fucking knock you out. Like, this is my belt. I'm
the only thing
after
that I didn't, because I wanted Leon. He kicked him in the balls twice.
Yeah.
Awful fence grab. The glove under the thing. It's like,
that's what I was telling him.
It's all part of like kind of the fighting, but it was like, Leon, I love you, but like that's 4 pretty ugly freaking fouls.
Right,
here,
but
man.
that's what I was telling him. It's like we were texting back and forth during the fight, and I was like, yeah, I really don't like either of them, to be honest. And then I was like, and then after the first, what was it? It
was right after the fence grab that you.
Yeah, I was like,
moved.
I was like, oh, now I remember because that's what he does.
Yeah.
Every one of his fights, you go back and watch. That's what happens. Yeah. He has violations.
Really?
Yeah. Fence grabs.
I think
grabbing underneath the gloves.
That
was one of the things.
The nut shots. I just can't imagine how, like, in real life, how much that doesn't change. You know what I mean? Like it just.
Yeah.
And like the guy kicks you low, and you know he's gonna aim low, and the one connects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it has to be in your head.
Yeah.
And then the second one does.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
it's
you're like, dude, come on.
And it's like, I definitely not an excuse to like lose a fight, but
it's just right in your head.
And there's no, like, I don't know how you shake those, like all the way, you know?
No, I know.
And then when you combine that with the fence pull. And
well,
it's
and
like,
that's the thing. It's like the nut shot is one thing. It's like, okay, those happen. Guys move. You know, it's like you're throwing a kick and the guy moves like right before that. Whatever, it happens. But these other ones, like, come on, really? You're grabbing the fence. You're grabbing on his gloves.
And he tried to deny the glove.
You watch how he fights. It's like this. He's fingers first. You know what I mean? It's like, and that's what happened when he fought Bilal Muhammad.
The
eye poke and ended the fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, that's right. He couldn't. Bilal couldn't.
Yeah. Couldn't continue.
Yeah. And that was when like his finger went. Like that was a freak.
It was gross. Yeah. That was like in his eyeball. Yeah.
That was gross.
But I mean, whatever. I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but it was like when that happened, I was like, oh, now I remember why I don't worry.
But there was literally at least 4.
Right.
Like.
Right.
Yeah.
On Kamaru.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Leon still, like, he defended takedowns really well.
Yeah, man.
He connected with shots. There was a few knees that snapped.
There was one.
Kamaru's
one
head.
was like right in the face.
Literally. I don't know how it didn't sit him down.
Yeah. I mean, good on him. Like even getting that point deducted didn't hurt him. You know, I mean, it hurt him, but it didn't take away from what he was doing and didn't ultimately cost him the fight. You know, so good on him. I mean, I thought he looked better. He was the better strike. You know, better kicks. I mean, he didn't throw many like headshots, really, punches. I mean,
he finally landed the head kick he was trying for.
Yeah,
and in the 5th round, I think it was blocked.
Yeah.
And it was early in the round, and Kamaru blocked it.
Yeah,
well, that's the thing.
I saw him at one point throw that high kick.
And he was setting it up. You know, I mean,
the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, he was throwing body kick, low kicks the whole time, just setting up for that. Yeah. For that headshot dead shot he wanted.
Then the whole crowd was headshot dead.
Is that what they were yelling?
That's what they were. Yeah.
You know, I thought was really bizarre after too. Is like after he wins, he's like chanting to the crowd, "Headshot dead." And I'm like, dude, that didn't happen. Like it didn't happen this time.
No,
like, that was last time.
That was
also
last time.
One of the biggest crowd pops of the night was in the 2nd round of the O'Neal Maya fight when Kobe walked in.
Yeah.
Right.
And he had his opportunity to build his massive fight. And he's like, no, I want Masvidal.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you're probably going to bury him, and he's going to get buried by Gilbert. Right. So, like...
Yeah. And then Dana already came out, and he's like, no,
and then
Kobe's
Leon
next.
in the press conference was like, I don't want Kobe. It's like, well, you kind of probably have to, because I have no idea what else happens in that division.
Right. Exactly.
So I was bummed out that we had that big, like, he would have turned that Kobe fight into a huge fight.
Right.
By calling him out or having something prepared to make that interesting. And now he's like, no, I don't want
That's just how he is, though. He's like unapologetically himself. Like he just doesn't like, and that's the thing I find funny about Leon. It's like, you know, he's goofy, and it's like even after calling out, like after the fight, he's like yelling "headshot dead." It's like that's just so stupid, but it's just him. It's like oh whatever. It's just you know, and even that, he was like, "What? What do you mean Kobe hasn't fought in like a year or whatever?" It's like you know, is he still fighting? He's like you know, he's just got a goofy way about him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I like him though. I don't know. Like I don't like him for the reasons that you were saying. Like I definitely remember in previous fights of his that some violations, but I always felt bad for him because he had all these fights canceled. He was just trying to fight someone,
and he kept getting overlooked for the title shot, and he was like running through everyone.
Yeah.
Well, I think now he's 11-0.
Right.
In his last fights, he beat every single person you would have asked him to, and we were still like, we'll give somebody.
Well, it's like even the fans, even us, we were like, okay, let's have him fight for a formality, and then we'll just have Usman.
Yeah, like he fought Nate. And like I love Nate's, but it's like he just had to have a fight. Like everyone kept telling him no.
Right.
And that fight too, it's like he escaped that at the end. I mean, he dominated him for 4 rounds, but Nate caught him, and then he was like,
he didn't pounce on him.
Or whatever, he pointed at him, and it was like, dude, if you would have pounced on him, you would have knocked him out. He was done. That fight was over.
Yeah.
I had that same thought every time I watched Leon. I had the thought in the first one, and in this one, I was like, if Nate KO'd him, like this could have been Nate's
his career would
fight.
be over.
You know what I mean?
Well, and Leon's career would be over.
It's nuts. Like it would have just been such a different thing. Now, you know?
Right.
Like,
no, 100%.
Right.
He rocked him and just pointed at him, and it was like, if you went, you might have.
It just doesn't. That didn't make any sense. They did that, but
that's funny.
But I mean, and like Leon, if he gets knocked out by Diaz, like his career's over.
That's what I mean.
Like he's done.
He made that run for nothing.
Yeah,
exactly.
So, but whatever. I mean, it was a good fight. I was hoping for more from Usman. I just thought, I thought he was a little hesitant, and I don't know. I forgot who was after the fight was saying that. He's like, somebody asked, I don't know if it was coach or whatever, but it's like, was he hesitant? Like, no, I didn't think so at all. And I'm like, how could you not? How could you say that?
Yeah.
He was definitely hesitant.
I think I didn't see that, but I think his coach is Trevor Whitman, who just says happy things always.
Yeah.
He's just a super positive guy.
I saw some picture of like Usman lost, and then like he went to hug Whitman, and Whitman had like the biggest smile on his face.
He was like hugging Edwards.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So happy for you, buddy.
Yeah. And like I saw someone was like, "Why are you that happy?"
Yeah,
right. Because he's thinking maybe I can coach Edwards next.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
like I'm ditching Usman, going to Edwards
he's
camp.
Like, he probably is right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny.
I mean, like I said,
if he's not gonna fight Kobe, I don't know what he does. Like I can't see the UFC making it.
Well, I think they're going to force him to. I don't think there's any question that Dana already said it. He's like, Kobe showed up. Kobe cut weight. Kobe deserves it.
Kobe said he was 18 pounds overweight like a few days before. So
really?
he had to cut almost 18 pounds in a day.
Oh my god.
He did. I think it was with the Mac Life. He was like in the back of the event. He was like, I showed up. He's like, Hunter Campbell called me. I want to say he said a day. Yeah. And I was 18 pounds over. He's like, I made weight.
I think they were saying that on the broadcast too. I think they mentioned that.
Which was like, that's crazy.
For a fight that you're not even going to fight.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
But it's weird that they didn't have a backup fighter until that moment.
Right. Because at that point, it's like, they're probably going to fight anyway. You know
yeah.
I mean? It's like, if nothing's happened
last
up to
minute,
this point.
Like you think it'd be months figured out.
Yeah. Well, and that's what Sean O'Malley said. He's going to be the backup for Cejudo Aljo. And he's like, I'll be the backup, but I'm not fucking cutting weight. He's like, I'm not. He's like, I'll show up. He's like, I'll be the backup fighter. But he's like, if we're a week out of the fight and they're still going, he goes, I'm not fucking cutting weight. He goes, they're gonna fight. Yeah, if we're a week out.
It's always. I always feel like too. There's always some like when they asked Dana White about that, he was like, well, it's like, oh, well, Kobe just showed. How did you keep that under wraps or whatever? Kobe. He's like, I don't know. I didn't keep it under wraps. I just nobody knew or whatever. It's like,
yeah.
But it's like I always feel like he's just I don't know. I like Dana White, but he's always like there's always some like I don't know conspiracy there or something. He's always like he's just not. You can tell he's just not telling the truth.
Yeah, some curtain of
I don't know. I just get the feeling he's just whatever. I mean, obviously he's got to like hold his cards close to his vest. And
did you guys fall for it a few weeks ago before they announced the Gilbert fight? And he was like, Dana was like, everybody tune into our accounts at 4. And he was like an hour late to make the announcement.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Oh,
he was
really?
like posting like, oh, sorry guys, 15 more minutes.
Oh,
we were all sitting there like, come on, Dana.
Yeah.
And then it was to announce that it was the Izzy rematch and the Gilbert fight.
Yeah.
Just like, all right. But we all waited like an hour.
Yeah. That's, I don't know. I always feel like it's just, whatever. I can go on about Dana White, but I feel like ever since the slap fighting thing got introduced, I just feel like this is his baby now, and it's like if you watch what the UFC puts out, it's like almost half slap fighting videos and half,
their feed it's pumping the slap fight.
Which whatever, we can talk about slap fight.
So we can do a whole other episode on that.
I'm not a big
power
fan
slap?
Power slap
or whatever. Yeah, it's just I think it's ridiculous. Right. Actually.
No, for sure.
But
for sure.
I don't know. Did you watch any of that? Did you watch the seasons or no? No, not any of it
at all.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I just like, and then you're just watching guys get. It's like you got to win the coin toss.
Right.
Like you don't have to like win anything, but I don't know the rules, so I could be. But it's like if you slap first.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the win,
you
right?
got a pretty good shot.
Like,
yeah, you got.
If not, you're rattled. You're slapping.
I was gonna say you just
like
got
3
slapped.
different faces. Like I don't understand. And then,
exactly.
Will there be like you see when you're driving down streets, you see karate stuff. Like, is there going to be a power slap thing? That
it's just bizarre. I don't understand it. I don't think it's I just can't find the attraction to it. I just don't. Yeah. Not at all.
Yeah. No, definitely not. I don't know.
Just don't get it.
I don't know where they really found the folks that are doing it either. You know, they're just kind of.
They're just.
But like you said, it's all on the UFC feed too. If you're following the UFC, they're just
they're pushing
forcing it.
They're pushing it.
Yeah, I would have never watched it unless it was on there, to be honest.
Yeah. No, 100%.
And I never really watched. I think I watched like maybe 2 or 3 of the episodes of the like whatever what do they call it, the reality show, whatever.
Well, that's what I mean. They were turning it into basically the tough, right? I didn't know if it actually happened already, but I heard Dana saying that they were doing like the ratings on it were doing really well because they're right after wrestling.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And they were able to maintain more of that audience than the shows before, but I haven't found anyone who actually likes it though.
Or like a mega fan of it.
I don't know. Right. That's the thing too. It's like everybody we talk to, I don't find anybody that actually likes it.
Or who even knows when it's really on, like knows the best slapper.
I think that these like videos, these short clip videos do good for them because it's like shocking almost. You're like, what the fuck am I watching? You know?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you're like, really? Is this happening? Is this a thing? And like the videos do well, but how many people are watching that reality series?
That's what I mean. I don't know anyone who's actually watching.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, we watched the first few or whatever, and then I saw like they had the championships or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it's annoying, to be honest. Like unobstructed blows to the head, basically.
Right. No defense, no strategy.
Giving people basically brain damage.
I was gonna say it's just like almost brutal to watch sometimes when these people are just like standing there holding a pool noodle behind their back, and it's like
he's falling everywhere.
Yeah.
And the other guy's screaming in his face.
Yeah, it is like I did that. It's like
I know it's just it just seems so dumb. It seems so dumb to me. Yeah. It's just like I don't know. I know there's a lot of brutal UFC knockouts and all that, but those guys are defending themselves. Like,
for sure.
I mean, they're just it's back and forth, and it's a contest, and
you can
that's what I like
about it. You can have defense.
Right.
In MMA. Like you have the opportunity.
It's a chess match. You know, they're all playing these different strategies.
Right, exactly. That's what I love about it. It's like how is Gaethje going to figure out how to beat Fiziev? How are they going to figure things out?
Right.
And end up, you know, taking advantage of the other guy's weakness or playing on your own strengths. Yeah. This is just fucking hitting a guy in the face.
Whack,
like
yeah,
exactly. Stand there, let me just slap you in the face.
Right.
I don't know. It's just no strategy whatsoever, but
I don't think Dana's going to let it die. Though, you know, he's going to try to go as long as they can.
They're behind it for sure, and that's, you know, they're not gonna stop promoting it. So whatever. I mean, everyone can ignore it. Everyone that doesn't like it can ignore it.
Yeah, exactly.
But we all
including
love the UFC, so it's all good. But, but I mean, so we got what's coming up next.
I mean, we got Marlon Vera Sandhagen next week.
Oh, that's right. Cheeto.
Yes, this Saturday. Holly Holm is also on that fight, and then if you look. The next weekend is the Izzy Perea card.
So in 2 weeks again? Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, they're pumping out these fight nights, and this is a really, really good card. I mean, obviously we have Gilbert Burns Masvidal, then you have Rob Font, Adrian Yanez, you have Kevin Holland fighting Ponzinibbio, and then first fight on the main card is Rosas Jr. So that's going to be a fucking
Oh, so 3 weeks actually. So March 25th, then then they got a week
8th.
off. April
Sorry?
1st, there's no fights on April 1st.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, can't wait for that.
But yeah, they are really pumping out these cards. I mean, it's just like
the Cheeto one's gonna be sweet.
Dude.
Like
Yeah.
I can't wait to
Yeah.
watch Vera and Sandhagen.
Just
like,
go
that's
after
a huge.
it. Just go after it. Yeah.
And
Cheeto's never stopped fighting.
Yeah.
Like he just kept on going. You know.
yeah. And so I don't know. Surprising to me, Vera's an underdog. You know, I don't know why. I don't know why that's surprising to me, but
I do love Sandhagen, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's
yeah.
That's going to be a great fight. I think that's a really, really close matchup. I think it's going to be, I don't know, just a banger.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Macy Barber's on that fight too, I just saw.
she back.
Yeah.
Is that her first fight back in a while?
I think so.
Yeah.
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 That'll be great.
Who did she fight where she tore her ACL? That was
Shoot.
like a while back though, but
Yeah.
because she had a was on a nice run.
So she fought last July.
Yeah, she fought Jessica I and beat her.
Oh, okay. So maybe it was before that.
Yeah, let me look here. She lost
She's
to
won
De
her
La
last
Rosa.
3. No, she won.
Oh, my bad.
Right?
Yeah, no, I'm just
Yeah.
looking right at it. Yeah, no, she won.
Oh dang! I thought she got hurt pretty bad.
I thought she did too.
She lost to Grasso was her last loss.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, back in 2021, February. That'll be good though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Cool.
So,
Yeah, a lot of really.
I
I
mean,
feel like I like how they're doing these pay-per-views where it's not just once a month right now. They're kind of pumping them out, which is nice.
they're mixing it up for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. So what do you think? What do you think about the Izzy fighting?
I think he
it's
might.
hard to call that. It really is.
I just don't know because Izzy had him. If there was probably a second left in the first round of the last fight,
Had him. Yeah, he
it's
was
just
out.
like
He was
he's
out,
another
yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
But he didn't, and now Pereira's got him twice. So it's like,
Right.
is he just the one guy
That he can't
Izzy's
figure out.
not gonna get?
I know.
It might be because it's a good matchup for
He's
Pereira.
Fucking
Right.
huge.
Right. Exactly. That's the other thing. You don't realize how big
Like
he is.
he is huge.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah, I can't wait for that. Like I said, a lot of good things on the horizon as far as UFC
I think
goes.
I'm gonna take Izzy again, but I would not be surprised if he's just a one guy.
yeah.
Can't
Izzy
get-
can't.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah. I mean, and it's a good matchup for Pereira too because Izzy. I mean, Izzy's not a wrestler. Let's all, put it out there and say he's not really like we saw him take down Pereira, but it's like he controlled him on the ground, but you could tell it's like he's not a jiu-jitsu guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I feel like if Pereira fights a guy who's great on the ground, he's going to get destroyed.
Sure. And that might be like Whitaker's
Right.
whole thing against him.
Right.
Like that because
Right.
Whitaker said as much. Like he's massive.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like he's not going
Right.
to be dumb enough to stand and bang with him. So he might just
Yeah.
That's
might
the
be
thing.
his
He ends up
weakness.
fighting a wrestler. He's
because he's a kickboxer.
Yeah.
It's like that's where
Yeah.
they brought him in.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I think I take Izzy again too. For all
do
those
you think
reasons.
that Jamal Hill will defend the title before he loses it?
I mean, he's going to fight Yuri, right?
I think.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what's going to be.
I mean,
on
hopefully
Lineup.
that's the next fight because hopefully Yuri's healed by then.
deck. Yeah. They
Yeah.
said that was a terrible shoulder injury.
Yeah.
But
So I'm hoping he fights Yuri next.
Yeah,
You know?
that's going to be a great fight. I don't know, to be honest. I feel like that's a big unknown for me.
Yeah.
I don't.
Hill's like underratedly good.
Yeah.
Like sneaky
Well,
good.
he
Yeah.
was, he impressed me beyond. I thought he was going to lose to
Glover.
Glover.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just
I
thought
had Glover in that fight.
I
too.
wasn't. I don't know. I just didn't think. But after that fight, he impressed me
Mhm.
really, really good.
Yeah.
Like way better than I thought he was going to be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure.
But I mean, I just love Yuri. Like from the
He's one of my favorites
From
too.
the moment the guy enters the ring, he's doing all that wacky,
weird.
shit,
just so
spinning
weird.
around and like
Yeah.
kicks and like.
I was bummed when he cut that stupid
Yeah,
freaking
exactly.
ponytail. That was awesome to watch it.
I know.
He's just awesome. I mean, he's just oh my god, he's just great to watch. But
Dude.
I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think he'll I would probably take Yuri in that fight.
Yeah, I think so too.
I
But-
take Yuri as long as, like you said, shoulder injury comes back close to 100% healthy. Yeah.
But I mean, if he doesn't end up fighting Yuri, who's he fight? Ankalaev, maybe. I mean, I think they give Ankalaev a shot.
Yeah.
Since he beat Blachowicz.
Right. Right.
Or no, was it a draw?
I thought Blachowicz won on those leg kicks.
I think.
Or no, who did Blachowicz beat then? That he just kept like leg kicking the heck out of somebody.
Yeah. Who was that?
Like shin on shin leg kicks.
Yeah.
It's almost hard to like listen to them.
I know. I just can't think of the fight.
Well, he what?
Was it that Ratchet or
Maybe.
Hold on, I'll tell you in a second. I don't know. His last fight was on Ankalaev, so.
Who did Jan end up winning that fight?
It was a draw, actually.
Was it a draw?
It was a draw.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was
like, those.
I just remember like him just like shin on shin.
I was just saying when you said the sound.
I think it was
that.
it was Ratchet, I think.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Because that's the fight he won before that.
Yeah.
And then he lost to Teixeira before that.
Right.
So got submitted. But yeah, that was the fight too where Dana White was like all pissed off because he thought it was boring or whatever. Like
really?
Right.
The Blachowicz fight?
Blachowicz and Ankalaev.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind
Like he was so mad that for some reason that fight was a draw and he thought it was boring and like I didn't think it was boring at all.
No, I don't remember the fight being boring. I remember some of the snoozers more than I do the better ones, but I don't remember that one being bad.
Yeah, whatever. That's ridiculous. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know that's an interesting division too. So, and then beyond that, it's like, beyond Yuri and Ankalaev, I mean, you got Blachowicz again and Rakic. Anthony Smith is hanging around.
Yeah.
Krylov is really good.
Yeah.
And then you got like Johnny Walker. I mean, that guy's surprising too.
I know he had that nice run.
Yeah.
Kind of fell off, and now he's right back.
Right.
Well, is he training with the Connor team? I think he was, right. Doesn't he have Kavanaugh or whatever? I don't know if he's
not sure about that.
since then, but I thought that he was training with them.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I don't know
really
if he
cool.
still is.
Yeah. I'm not sure about that, but I mean, I think seriously, you got to give him. I mean, he's on a 2 or 3 fight winning streak. So, I mean, took out Paul Craig.
Fun.
That was a good fight.
Yep.
It's like every one of his fights is interesting too. I feel like it's
even
just
when
like
he gets knocked out, it was like it's a memorable.
Remember that fight
knockout.
where he like grabbed Paul Craig's leg and just held it and then started punching him in the face, over and over again.
Yeah.
He is a freak.
He is like every one of his fights. I feel like there's just something
weird
crazy happens.
Yeah.
You know?
No, 100%.
That's so true. Yeah.
100%.
Johnny Walker, like I thought that he was gonna I thought he was gonna fight John Jones.
Yeah.
And then he kind of fell off before Jones moved up.
Yeah.
But now he's right back in there.
Yeah.
Can't miss.
But that was the one too where Jamal Hill beat him, remember? And he like hit him and it was like a delayed reaction. He hit him in the head and it was like this he went like this and then fell over
kind of towards
whatever.
the cage.
Yeah. It was like the most bizarre
That's the one I keep
thing.
getting, like even when he's KO'd, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like you remember
like,
Johnny Walker.
He had this weird like reaction to the punch and fell backwards and then Jamal Hill came in and hit him like on the ground when he was out and it was over. But it's just some crazy shit. He's the guy too. Remember, he won
when he celebrated.
And then like almost knocked himself out.
So he was on that streak.
Yeah,
he wins. I think a KO win, and he falls flat on his chest and does the worm, and popped his shoulder out, and he's like doing his like post fight press conference.
Yeah.
And his shoulder is jacked up because he did the worm celebrating.
Oh my god.
And he took some time off. I think he lost his fights coming back from that.
Yeah.
And now he's like back.
The shoulder healed now.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's so funny. That's so funny.
That is crazy. I don't know. What do you think about Islam? I
never really. I think he's really good, but I think he can be beat. I think if he fought Volk again, Volk could beat him.
Yeah.
That was a great fight.
It was so good.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta go back and watch that again.
I think Volk almost gave him a little too much respect. And if Volk just kind of had the same rounds he did 4 and 5 or 3, 4 and 5, I think he would have almost smashed.
What's so great
Islam.
about that was that Volk, like, he took him down and Volk was not, like, he just He was like, whatever.
Yeah,
I'm good.
he wasn't
Like, I'm going to sit here and you're going to try and
dominant.
choke me, and I know you're not going to choke me out. So,
Yeah.
like, that's crazy. It's crazy to think that, but that's what happened.
And he ran through 55, and Volk was just like, yeah. I can take him.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah,
But
crazy.
I don't know who he fights next.
But it's
55.
annoying to me that he says, like, okay, I won the title, I fought Volk, won, and now he wants to move up. Like, and it's like, dude, there's a lot of, like, that division is crazy stacked.
I know.
And it's like, okay, how about fighting Poirier?
Exactly.
I mean, come on.
That's what I was gonna say.
You know?
Like, does Poirier fight Gaethje or for
Yeah.
the title?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't
A
know.
lot of questions.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like you can make a good case for Poirier getting a title shot for sure because he looked so amazing in his last fight. But what I really think is going to happen is they're going to give the winner of Dariush and Oliveira the shot.
Yeah, that makes sense though.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But I don't know. I just thought it was annoying that he was like, "Oh, now I'm going to move up and like go fight another division." Like, come on,
No.
dude. You got
he
gotta
clean
fight
out your
some people.
division first, like
Exactly.
Volk did.
Yeah.
And then do it. Like, let's see you beat some of these other guys.
Yeah, there's a lot of people there that could test him, I think.
Yeah. Definitely.
I mean, let's see you fight the top 5. You know what I mean? And see, you know, I'm sure. Like, I think he's the best in division for sure. I think he's, you know,
He's got to defend it though.
but I think he's got to
defend his
prove it.
belt.
He's got to prove it like these other
Is
guys.
Poirier
too.
the second ranked there?
Yeah. Oliveira's first, but
Yeah.
Poirier's second.
Okay,
Yeah.
Poirier too.
Yeah.
Okay, got him.
Gaethje 3, Dariush 4. I don't know. I'd love to see Dariush beat Oliveira.
Me too.
Because
me
I'd
too.
love to see Dariush fight.
I think he deserved the title shot.
Yeah.
I hate that he doesn't even have it now.
Right.
Like, I wouldn't
Right.
mind if they said Benny could fight Islam.
Right. Right.
I'm not sure if Islam, if everything, like all the cards didn't play out to be a perfect fight between Volk and Islam. I think they probably would have given it to Benny already. But
Yeah.
the Volk fight was so big for them.
Right. Right.
For the UFC, that is. But
Yeah.
You know what's interesting too is like so whatever. Leon defended his belt, but it's like you still got Chimaev hanging around.
who wants
like-
to fight Chimaev for
It's like,
real, though?
and that's the thing. Is he going to make is he going to make 170?
And
Yeah.
it wasn't, and like the scary thing is, it wasn't even up to him. He says it was the doctor that
Right.
stopped it. So
Right.
like if
Yeah.
you got to be close enough to where the doctor won't come in.
Right.
You know, he was
Exactly.
so far.
But that's
off.
the thing. It's like, so now Dana White said, I mean, this is who I feel bad for all the time is Bilal.
yeah.
It's like, you know, when is he going to get his shot? So now it's going to be Edward, you know, Leon against Colby. And then, you know, who knows what happens to Usman. But, and so he announced it's going to be Bilal's going to fight Shavkat next. And it's like, really? You're going to give him shot? Like,
That's
that guy's a
tough.
fucking
That
animal.
is
Like,
absolutely tough.
Right. And it's like,
for Bilal to go through him now,
Right.
like that
Right,
just seems like
exactly.
it's an unfair.
right.
walk
It's, I think
compared
it's
to
totally
everyone
unfair.
else.
I think
Like,
it's totally unfair. And it's, you know,
it's crazy to me that Muhammad is even in, like, they look like they're in a different weight class almost.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
for
what do you
sure.
think of-
Yeah.
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 I agree. Yeah.
That seems unfair.
I don't know. I don't know. To me, it's like if you're gonna give him a killer, then give him Chimaev. Like
Yep.
give him Chimaev and have them fight, and then they fight, and then whoever wins that fights for the title.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Dude, I still think Gilbert was, like, the Gilbert Hamza fight. That was so close. I think a lot of people probably, like a lot of
You
fighters
could've
probably
given it
watched
either
that
way,
fight.
yeah.
We're
Yeah.
like, okay, maybe this guy isn't so scary, but still, no one's come out and been like, give me Hamza.
But how
Yeah.
great is that? How great was it of Burns to take that fight
Unbelievable.
and just be like, okay, I'll fight him,
That's-
and then,
I love
and then
Burns.
put out that performance?
It's like if Burns beats Masvidal, and I think that he will, I wouldn't mind if they give Burns another shot. But then, like, Benny kind of gets screwed again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's just
Or Bilal, yeah.
yeah,
Bilal,
yep.
Yeah, it's tough to say because I mean, realistically, it's like Masvidal shouldn't get a shot.
It makes
You know?
no sense. Like
No.
that's why when Leon called him out, I was like, "You look like." It kind of makes him like, I know what he's doing. He wants to get that sucker punch back,
Yeah.
but you're calling out what seems like a way weaker fighter
Yeah.
who's not as like high
Well,
up in
it
the
doesn't make
rankings
sense.
as the
It
other
kind of
ones.
makes him look like an idiot, to be honest.
And like
you know?
it just doesn't make sense for the UFC. It doesn't
Right.
make sense for him. And like it's a money fight for him, I'm sure.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like when you're champion, you don't call out some guy that's like, you know, ranked. What is he even ranked?
I mean, is he?
He's ranked 11th. Come on.
So it's like George.
But the other thing I heard is that, you know, if Conor beats Chandler, you know,
he could go to 170.
Yeah.
That's what he said on Ariel, right?
Well, and I think that's where the Chandler fight's going to take place. 170. Yeah.
That'll be cool though.
But it'll be interesting to see what happens there. And it's like, does Conor deserve a title shot? I don't know.
If he asks for it.
Like, I guess.
Uncle Dana's not going to say no,
Right.
I don't think.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
I mean, they're not going to deny that huge payday for sure.
Yeah.
But could you imagine like Conor versus Leon?
Dude.
That seems like almost unfair. Like Leon seems like he's 30 pounds heavier.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
It'll be interesting to see what Conor looks like when he fights, because he is bigger, obviously, now. But I don't know. I don't know. Everybody thinks he's going to win. I don't know.
Against Chandler?
Yeah, I just don't know. Like, how can you
think
just
Chandler
count
might be
Chandler out? I
overwhelming.
just don't.
I'm not.
You can't count
in
him
any
out.
way. I would have probably, if we had a bet right now, I would probably bet Chandler.
Yeah.
Especially
I don't
with Conor's layoff. Like Chandler's
Right.
been active.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. But I love Michael Chandler. I just think, like, that's another guy. He's like just one of my favorites. Like, you know what you're getting out of that. You know what's going to happen when he fights. It's like there's just no doubt in your mind that he's not going out easily.
Just like Gaethje.
Right.
They're the same.
Right.
You just always know that's worth it.
Yeah.
It's worth the price of admission.
But I would have loved to seen Colby fight Chimaev. You know, that's like, they could have made that fight. I don't know.
Colby was calling him out.
Like they
Colby
could have
said.
made it 3, 4, 5 months ago. They were both ready. You know.
And that, like, Colby always dogs him, but then he kind of says he didn't fight that many people, but then he got burned. So it's like, kind of, yes, I did.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. That just, I mean,
the 70 and 55.
Yeah.
It's so
so
impossible.
confusing to see what's going to happen. But
I
I mean, this Shafkat guy is the real deal, dude. He's like,
it is freakish. He should fight Hamzat.
Yeah.
Like he really should.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, 100%.
But like I was saying after Shafkat won, it's like I'm like, give him Colby. Like let's see him take Colby out.
Get him,
like because fuck him. I want to see him get destroyed.
I know. And same thing. I think Hamzat would fuck up Colby too.
Yeah,
dude.
I think he would too. I think he.
It's a different kind of wrestling.
It's a different game.
I think he'd fucking throw him around the ring.
Same. Like I feel like it'd be Kevin Holland. Like Like I think Colby knows how to, like, a technical wrestle, and I'm sure that's what Hamzat is too. But it just seems it's more brutal.
It's not though. He's like a mauler.
That's what I mean. He just grabs you and just tosses you around, and
exactly.
It just doesn't seem right. Like he's just grabbing his little brother around there. You know?
Right.
Exactly.
It's like what he did to Kevin Holland was just ridiculous.
And then I like one of the biggest Nate Diaz fans, but Hamzat keeps saying he's like Kevin Holland's better. Like Nate should thank God that I was 8 pounds heavier. Like I would have killed him, and it would have been awful for his whole legacy. You know,
it would have been awful.
He would have just whipped him around like a, like a.
You're so right. Yeah, you're so right.
Yeah.
You're 100% right.
Because Holland's probably a little heavier.
Right.
It's a little slicker now.
Yeah.
Hamzat's like, nah.
It's ridiculous. It's almost like the guy that no one wants to fight. Seriously, I don't think these guys want to fight him. I just don't.
Hamzat? Yeah, I agree. No one just like really banging on the dirt. I think
much respect to Gilbert Burns.
For Burns, and I think Muhammad did too. Muhammad did too. Like I was like, I'll fight him.
Yeah. Right.
I was gonna say Muhammad just wants a fight. I feel like he's a guy. It's like, man, you're giving him Shafkat now, and it's like that guy's an assassin. He's not even like
scary.
Stop trying to make Bilal like a gatekeeper guy when you haven't even given him a shot.
He should almost say no, but then it's like I don't know how much they're screwing with him.
Right. Yeah. Right. Because they kind of have the leverage where they could be like, oh, you don't want him, then like whatever, you can fight in 6 months. Yeah. Like
just keep sitting them out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They say they did that with Nate until he just said yes to Hamzat.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Definitely. It was ridiculous, but all right, well, we can wrap it up. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.